is the final section that I'm going to deal with in financial maths. I'm going to take it a little easier, a little slower. Okay. What are we talking about? We're talking now, essentially, we introduced the concept of the last one in terms of variable interest rates, which means they are going to change over time. Okay. Now, what we said is we said that they let's just do an example and then we can talk through what we mean by it. Okay. Okay. Let's consider the following. We have 10,000 Rand to invest. We have 10,000 to invest. All right. In a plan offering 8% per annum compounded at semi-annually for 2 years. Whoops, that's not a therefore sign. It then says thereafter 9% compounded monthly how much do we have? How much do we have after 5 years? What do we do? Well, we obviously, first of all, what have we got? We've got two separate things, haven't we? We've got a piece where we've got interest in the first part, where it's compounded semi-annually. And then in the second part, it's compounded, and they've told us monthly. So we've got to deal with a split interest rate here. How are we going to do that? Well, let's have a look here. All right. Let's take this and we say, okie dokes. Let's draw it. All right. I'm a firm believer. Those of you who do physics with me, you'll know I say draw it, because it makes sense to me. Right. Let's start off with saying this is now. Then they told us that we've got a period of 2 years, 1 and 2. This is 0. 1 and 2 years. Over 2 years, something's going to happen here. And it goes on for 5 years. 3, 4, 5. Correct? So the total investment is 5 years. Something changes there. And let's see, they've told us we have got 10,000 monetary units at that point. Okie dokes. What do we do next? Well, what we do is we actually say, okay, you are going to grow to that point there, right? So this is going to be I at 8% per annum compounded semi-annually. Now I'm going to take out my red pen and I'm going to highlight. That means, those mean what? This means adjust. Adjust rate to effective, correct? Because that is nominal there. That is nominal, right? So we must adjust the rates. Okay, well, that's easy. We know how to do that, right? Then I put the next piece. I say over here, what's going to happen? Well, this is also going to keep growing, isn't it? So this is going to be over there. And at the end, A is equal to P is equal to that. A is equal to, we don't know. Let's have a look. The next one, they say I is equal to 9% per annum compounded monthly. What does it mean? Well, it means that my money is going to grow for the period 1, okay, from 0 to end of year 2. This is the period I'm looking at first. So let's do this one in, I don't know, let's do it in green, shall we? All right. So what do I say? I say P is equal to A, 1 plus I to the n, but now I have to adjust because A is going to be equal to 10,000. I hope this green is actually visible. 1 plus I was 8%. But what have I got to do? Hang on. I've got to have it as a decimal. 0.08 over how many times? It's twice to the power of 2 multiplied by 2 years. So that's going to give me a number 11,698.58. So what does it mean? It means that at the end of this period here, that much money is 11,698.59. All right. Sorry, 0.58. Okay, I get it. 0.58. And I'll change you as well to 0.58. Okay, let's go through. What did I say? I split it into the first piece. Now, I know that in many textbooks and many notes and whatever, and many educators prefer to do it all in one big long thing. Of course you can. I'm explaining it in a breaking up into discrete pieces. Personally, I just find it easier. It doesn't take me less time, and it's a lot less confusing, especially if it's not the strongest point. Why risk the result? Just say to yourself, split it into the pieces, and it's logical, because then you're not working with 20 different changes and getting confused. One at a time. You know what? That's the way to go, in my view. All right. I just think making it easy. I don't see why we have to make maths difficult. Okay. Right. So we say that. So now what does it mean? Now it means we've come to the end of that. So that's how much money is going to be in the bank at that time, isn't it? Or in our savings plan. Then we look at period number 2. Okay. What is period number 2? Period number 2 is the amount is equal to P, 1 plus I to the power of n. What's P? It's that. I'm going to do it in blue. So I say P is that one. 11,698.58 times 1 plus my I. Do I need to adjust? Yes, I do. It's 0.09 over 12 to the power of 12 times 3 years, correct? That's what we're saying here. It's for 3 years. So this, just go back to what we did, remember? There we go. The 2 and the 2, the 12 and the 12 must be the same. And that's for 3 years. So I'm adding interest 36 times. Okay? I want you to see that, just so it's not complicated. All right, and my final answer comes out to be, I've got to go back to blue. My final answer comes out to be 15,309.29. Remember, we always work to 2 decimal places for currency. Then I go back and I put over here, I put my number, all right, get it out of the way, 15,309.29. And that's how much we'll have at the end. All I did is I split it into 2 pieces. Simple as that. Let's do the next one. Let's do another example, shall we? Example. We want to save 100,000 for a holiday. For a whatever reason. Let's say a holiday, all right, in 4 years' time. All right? And we can get a plan. And we can get a plan, or we are offered, okay, 12% compounded annually. Oh, no, sorry. 12% per annum 12% per annum, and they say it is compounded monthly for 2 years. And then 10% compounded quarterly. Okay. Well, they say for 2 years, but I could have left it there, couldn't I? And you have to work out that it's another 2 years. Let's just compound it quarterly for the rest. Okay, what do I do? Well, first of all, I need another page. Then I say, all right, draw it. Let's start now. Right, this is now. Now I've got what? This is there. And I know that my first is for 2 years. So I say, right, in this period here, okay, that's what's going to happen. Now I don't know this amount, do I? They've asked me how much must I invest. All right, well, that's going to grow, isn't it, over the 2-year period. Now we fill in the interest. We say I equals 12% per annum, compounded monthly. And how many years have I got left? Another 2 years, because it's 4 years' time I want to go, and my savings are going to increase there to there. So you can see I put in the money now, it grows to that, and then it grows to that over a period of time, doesn't it? Right? Okay. Now, let's just see what's next. Okay. Next is, I'm just going to bring it down. So I say, okie dokes. Okay. Next is put in the next bit of information, which is the next bit. I is equal to 10% per annum compounded quarterly. Okay, for 2 years. All right, now let's do it. Now, let's just go, but hang on. What have I been given? Sorry, I need to put black. This is the amount we've been given here, isn't it? The amount at the end, A equals 100,000. We know that figure. Right, now what do I have to do? Well, we're going to work it backwards, okay? I'm going to work, let's say we take red. Let's go back to work out how much we had there. Well, P is equal to, this is period, year 3 and 4, hey? Year 1, year 2, year 3 and 4. Year 3 and 4. P is equal to A, 1 plus I to the power of N. P, all right? Well, hang on. In this case, I know that, don't I? I know that I've got 100,000. Don't I? Okay. No, all right? It's A. You'd be surprised how many times I make that mistake. A is equal to P like that. So A is the amount at the end of the investment, okay? 4 years away is when I want my holiday. P, I don't know. What must I adjust I? Yeah, there we go. Warning bells, make an adjustment. So it's going to be 0.1 over quarterly. Okay, quarterly, how many times? 4 times. Remember, the quarter is also quarterly. Is every 3 months. Why? Well, because there's 12 months in a year, over 4 is equal to 3. Right? That is also, be surprised, people often get that wrong. To the power of 4 times 2, because that and that must be the same, and it's for 2 years. We're adding interest 4 times a year for 2 years, so there's 8 times. Then if I work that out, I get P going to be equal to 82,074.66. So what have I said? I've said now this amount here. At that point, there's 82,074.66, isn't there? That's my balance at that point. Now I'm going to work backwards again. All right? I'm going to work backwards again. I'm going to switch it to blue. All right? So I say this is now year 1 and 2. I say A is equal to P 1 plus I to the power of n. So what can I say? I can now say that my end amount, right, is going to be 82,074. Right? That's the amount I want to end with. Remember, I'm trying to work backwards to find P, aren't I? This is what we're trying to find here. We're trying to find P. All right? So for the first bit, P became, now P's right back here. Yes, I'm aware. I know it can all be done in one step. But you know what? This is also a way of doing it. Is equal to P times 1 plus, I must change its 0.12 over 12 to the power of 12 times 2 years. Remember? That's equal, and that's years. So 24 times. 12 times in the first year and 12 times in the next year. We're adding interest. And if I solve, P comes out to be in this one. P comes out to be 64,639. Okay, 0.22. All right, 64,639.22. Now, I know you can just concatenate the rates, add them all one behind the other, but do you know what? That makes a lot of sense, and it's easier sometimes to do it in a stepwise fashion. Okay. When we're going to look at this one, all right, let's have a look. Here's another example. All I'm doing is examples here. All right. Okay, suppose we put together an example involving a few different conditions. We invest 10,000. Okay, let's get to that. Here's an example. Okay. We invest 10,000. Okay. At receive interest of 7% per annum, compounded quarterly. Okay, for 2 years. All right. We then invest. We then invest a further 10,000 Rand. Okay, and receive 9% compounded annually. Okay. After 2 years, we withdraw we withdraw 3,000 Rand. How much do we have after 5 years? After 5 years. Whoa. So this is quite a heavy one because we've got an investment now, we've got an interest rates changing, we've got additional coming in, and we've got withdrawals. How do we start this? I'll give you 3 guesses what I'm going to say next. Draw it. Okay? Obviously. So let's say, we say the total thing is over 5 years. 1. Okay, I'm going a little bit too far apart. 2, 3, 4, 5 years. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 over there. All right, that's my timeline over here, isn't it? Okay. Right, now let's put in what we know. We start over here and we say, aha, I know that they're giving me P is equal to 10,000. Now I say, okay, they say for the first 2 years, all right? So at year 2, something happens. What happens at year 2? All right, this money is going to grow there, right? And it's going to grow. I is equal to 7% per annum, and they've said compounded quarterly, right? The next phase is up to, right? The next phase is we say, okay, that's cool. I know that. Then the next part is my interest is at 9%. So this, but at that point there, I am going to withdraw 3,000 Rand at that point, correct? So my money is going to grow up till that point. Then I'm taking it out, and then it's going to grow. Whatever's left is going to grow again, isn't it? Because I've withdrawn. Can you see the split, right? So this last piece is I is equal to 9% per annum annual. This is I is equal to 9% compounded annual, okay? And they want to know what have we got in the bank at the end. Well, let's split it into the bits, shall we? Let's do year 0 and 1, okay? So, hang on, I need to work out A there. So I'm going to go to there now. So at the end of that period, I have got in my bank, I've got P is equal to A, 1 plus I to the N. P is A is going to be equal to, I always do that, you know. A equals P. Sorry, guys. If I do that, please just correct me. Okay, post facto. So the amount at the end is going to be equal to 10,000. I've got to change it to 0.07 over 4 to the power of 4 times 2. That gives me how much at the end? Well, I work it out, and I say that's 11,488.82, right? So now I can go and I can say at this point here, my bank balance is 11,488.82. Right. Now I've changed interest rates, but I haven't withdrawn anything, so my bank balance is the same. If I'd withdrawn, I'd subtract it and start with that amount for the next piece, wouldn't I? Because that's my investment going forward. All right? Okay. Let's now continue. What happens now? Now I go from year 2 and 3. And I say at the end of that, the amount is equal to P, 1 plus I to the N. What is the amount going to be? I don't know. P, what's P? P is what I start off with. It's that figure. Is 11,488.82. 1 plus, must I adjust? Well, it's 0.09 over 1 times 2. So no, I don't need to adjust. All right? It's actually going to be 20. Oh, sorry. I forgot. My bad. Please excuse me. I didn't read my own thing. At this point here, we plus 10,000. Okay, I didn't put that on my timeline. Can you see? That was bad. So what is my bank balance starting off here? Is 21. All right. So we're starting off with, I put in an extra 10,000 in 2 years' time. I forgot that. So you need to put it on your timeline when you do these things. All right. So it's going to be equal to, come on. Okay. It's going to be, let me just erase you. Right? It's actually the 11,488.82 plus the additional 10,000 that we invested. So it starts off with 21,488.82 times 1 plus 0.09 over 1 to the power of 2. And my final is 25,530.86, like so. And then what happens now? Let's go back. 25,530. Where are we? We are over here, right? How much is in the bank? 25,530.86 is my balance there, but it drops by 3,000. So the actual opening balance over here is going to be 22,530.86, isn't it? Okay. So therefore, we reduce the balance by 3,000. We withdraw All right, we withdraw. Therefore, opening balance is going to be 22,530. 0.86. That then is where we're going to for the next one, isn't it? Okay. So finally, the last one amount is equal to P1 plus I to the N is going to be equal to 22,530.86 multiplied by 1 plus 0.09 to the power of 1. The final amount that I have left in my bank balance is 24,588.64. Okay? Yeah. So you build up a sequence of equations, okay? Like I've said before, I'm going to do another example now. All right. Let's look at this one, all right? Let's look at this example. Okay? We invest 15,000 Rand. Okay, 8.5% per annum, compounded every 3 months. Okay, 2 years later, we invest another 5,000 Rand. We invest a further 5,000 Rand. Okay, right, okay. 1 year later, we withdraw X, a certain amount, all right? If we received 23,250, okay, at the end of 5 years, okay, how much did we withdraw? Whoa, what happened? Let's draw it. It makes much more sense if we draw it. I know, I'm like a stuck record, hey. You've written it down, so I'm going to draw it in. Right, so I'm going to say right now. Now I said we had 15,000, and we go for 3 years. 1, 2, 3 years. 1, 2, 3. Now is 0, correct? And we've got an I equal to 8.5% per annum quarterly for that. So this 15,000 grew to an amount over there, didn't it? All right. Then we added plus 5,000 over there, right? I just want to, you know what, I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller just to fit it in, okay? This amount grew to there. Then we plus 5,000. Remember, I like this to be the in and this is the outside. This is inputs. The other is a withdrawal, okay? So now we say righty-ho, 5,000 Rand, okay, as at that point. Then the interest rate, okay, it's all staying the same. We could have changed it, but we didn't. Then up to year 4, all right, what happened? This money now grew up to the end of year 4, correct? All right. Then at the end of year 4, we withdrew. Let's change the color. Let's make a withdrawal red. Rand X, all right? And what did that do? It reduced our balance to get us to year 5 over there to there, didn't it? And they tell us that we received at this point here 23,350 Rand, all right? So the interest rate I is equal to 8.5, I is equal to 8.5, and it's all quarterly, right? So we got to do an adjustment. So let's see, take this 23 backwards and take this forwards. Can you see that? Let's first of all, period 0 to 3. Okay? P is equal to amount. Done it again. Okay. A is equal to P 1 plus I to the N. We know P is 15,000. That's what we started with. We invested that for 8.5. 0.085 divided by 4, because we're adding it quarterly, okay? Every 3 months is quarterly, right? So then it's 4 times 3 years. So there's 12. That gives us, at the end of that period, the new balance is 19,305.28. So this number here is 19,305.28. What am I going to do? Now I add 5,000. Okay. So now we add 5,000. So what is my opening balance? Sorry, I need a new page. So new bank balance is going to be equal to, we added it, 24,305.28. So let's go back to our thing. Where are we starting off? This number here now. Let me just change this to green. This number is going to be 24,305.28, isn't it? We've added money in, so we grew for 3 years, we added in. Now we've got to take this for a year to there. And we see how much we get at that point. Well, let's go through that process. And we say, okay, this is year 3 to 4. This is year 3 to 4. So I say that the amount is going to be P1 plus I to the N. That's going to be 24,305.28. 1 plus interest rate is 0.085. 4, and for how many years? Times 1. Okay, so it's going to be equal to 26,438.02. So what is my bank balance? Over here. My bank balance over here, this number, there, my balance here is equal to 26,438.02. Okay, now let's take this one. Can you see here? I'm just going to put it in red or green. We're going to take this one back to there now. Right? So we take let's look. We've got here year 4 to 5, right? So we're going to take it backwards. So now I say that A is equal to P, 1 plus I. What am I looking for? I'm looking for P. So I've got A was 23,250 is equal to P, 1 plus 0.085, 4 times, and it's 4 times 1 year. So I work out P is going to be equal to 21,374.44. Okay, so what is that saying? That says, let's go back to the drawing. That says that at this point over here, okay, this money was equal to 21,374.44. So what did we withdraw? The balance was that. This is what went forward for the rest of the investment. So our withdrawal was going to be equal to is going to be equal to, we just finished, 26,438 0.02 minus 21,374. 0.44 equals how much? 5063. 0.58. That was the withdrawal that we took there. I do apologize, I went over time. So you just go through and plot, take the money, extend it forward, work out what your closing balance is, and you can work back to find what the opening balance is, and you just subtract the one from the other. Guys, that's about it for financial. As I say, we'll do more when we come to doing some exam prep or so on. But it's really a great section, and just follow the logic. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Good luck with it. I hope you enjoy it. I like it. It's an area I enjoy. But enjoy. Cheers. Good luck with it. And I'll see you in the next bit, which is probabilities. Ciao.